Hello everyone, Andres again for Option Poker, and we're going to review now how I usually approach when I have different, in reality it's a different game, ante or straddle in the table. So I have been studying ante for a long time because I've been primarily an online 6 max no limit player, and it happened a lot that we had to play 3 max, 4 max, 5 max up to 6 max with ante. And still I have been studying it extensively for a couple of years. However, with the straddle, I can make like a primary approximation, but probably you'll have to study it by yourself. So the first thing that happens when you are playing with ante, of course, is that there is dead money, and then there are two main ways to adapt to it. First is, for example, if you raise really small, it's more like a limp, okay? Because basically there are so good pot odds that your opponent is forced to be calling all the time. So actually playing with the small side things when you're playing with ante can become a limping way. So to clarify, I established that the small line was 0.5, the big line was 1 blind, the small ante was 0.25, 0.20, it doesn't matter, and the big ante was around 0.5. It also reminds me to the game at different places. There are different sites across the network where you can play with this kind of a structure. So if you go to 300, 400, up to 800, you will see that you have here the small ante and the big ante, and you will see how it evolves. For example, here the maximum ante that you play at PokerStars would be something like 1.25, 1.20, which is when this is like this, it's how it's usually in PokerStars. However, when you're playing live games, it might be varying. So you'll see that the ante can go really big, and the ante in the table can be much more important than the blinds. So if you go here, for example, and you are playing, this is the equivalent blinds, and you're playing 510, playing with the small ante will, the equivalence will be 7.515, just playing on 300, and the game can go up to 4 times bigger almost when you are playing with big ante. So the ante can be much more determining than the blinds that you are playing, and this is important to keep in mind. Why? Basically what we do is like we divide the ante in 3 parts. 2 parts will go to the big blind and 1 part will go to the small blind. If you go here, you will see the same structure. And this usually works pretty well to calculate the stake you are playing. So for example, if you are playing, let's say 5, 10, 5 with 5 of ante, and you're playing a 900 game, you are playing with 4.5 blinds extra. It means that there are 3 blinds, I mean 66% going into the big blind. So actually it's a game which is 22.545, which is 4.5x. So when you're playing live, keep in mind that if you add the ante, it will have a huge impact, especially on how big pots are building, how fast you're building the big pots. So if you're playing deep stack, it's going to have a huge impact. Here we made a few, the main thing that happens is that if you're raising the same sizing, you should be raising much more, and if you're raising bigger, if you want to raise the same amount that you are raising without ante, you should be raising definitely bigger. If you are defending the blinds, and is the easiest way to see it, we will start by the blind versus blind. Usually when we face when we are in the small blind, we are in the small blind and we face we face an open hand. I have put, let's say, 0.5 blinds, and the pot already has the 1 and 0.5. So my odds are 33%. Here, if you go with the ante, it can go up to 13%, 10%, 9%. So once you are here, for example, you should be playing around 95% of the hands. And if you are here, let's say, you should be playing 65% of the hands. And of course, if you have lower odds, you will be playing more and more until you're playing all the range, and you'll be limping it. If you're in the big blind out of position and you face a raise first scene, for example, into 3 big blinds, you will face that you are you have to put is 3 minus 1 blind. You have to put 2 blinds, and the pot will have the 3 blinds from the raiser, the 3 blinds from the big blind, and the small blind. So it's going to be 3 divided by 6.5. So actually this is 0.31.